What up, KK? What up, what up, what up? We appreciate you guys for letting us join and merge and do this thing all together. Pause. Hell yeah. Happy birthday, A-Rod. You're a tough man to get a hold of, bro. Yo. Man, I'm just coming in trying to make things a little bit more seamless for you boys. I'm trying to keep you guys in check, if you will. You know what I'm saying? I know you and A-Rod like to duke it out, and you know what I mean. I'm trying to moderate a little bit, bring Vic in here with some of his crazy stuff that he likes to say. But yeah, for today, man, we got so much to talk about. Hopefully, we can try to keep this within an hour, hour and a half. You know what I mean? So the first thing that I want to do, which I think you guys do really, really well, and I'll let whoever one of you two guys start, is the wackiest crazy thing that you saw in sports, or honestly, it doesn't necessarily have to be sports, but the wackiest craziest thing that you saw this past weekend. What do you got? What about you, KK? We just got some live chats, first of all, saying that the audio is a little wonky right now, so I'm trying to work that out. But the craziest thing that I did see was the St. Louis Rams kicking that field goal at the end of that game, and it made absolutely no sense. So they were losing. Oh, the Los Angeles Rams. Sorry. The Los Angeles Rams.
And there's some kind of weird thing going on with with the league. Like I don't want to say there's a script, but there's some type of weird thing going on. That the fact that it was like the most pointless field goal ever, right? So it was like something doesn't smell right anymore. Something don't smell right.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Sorry, I'm trying to fix the audio. My bad.
What's wrong with
I got
the
you.
audio?
Yep, I got you back in there. So we good. Vic, can you say something for me?
I'm Dick.
Hey, Rod, your turn.
My turn.
All right, there we go. We are good. We are back. My bad, guys. All right, we're good to go. So, all right, so those were the wacky, craziest things that we had. So the next thing that I want to get to, and I know this is a topic you guys like to talk about. I think you guys talked about it on your last podcast, was the Colorado Buffaloes. So want to get some more college football talk. Obviously, the big talk of the town is Prime, the Buffaloes, and of course, there are huge expectations for Coach Prime and his whole Do You Believe? Now, KK and A-Rod, and even Vic, chime in. Do you believe...
Before we go, Sammy.
Yeah.
You're on record of being a hater of Colorado Buffs. So I want you to let the people know how many wins you said Colorado is going to win this year. I just say that first.
You're also wearing an Oregon Duck shirt too, so it doesn't help your campaign.
You don't think he's trolling? But anyway, how many wins, Sammy, did you say they're going to win this year?
I said 6.
Okay.
I said 6.
The hate is real, man. They don't believe. But for me, first and foremost, I fell asleep at like 1:30 a.m. That game went on to 2:30 in the morning. I knocked out. I woke up at 4. Like, did Colorado win? Because they were losing the whole game. I was nervous. I was like, because everything that Jay Norvell said last week, I wanted Colorado to beat the dog shit out of them because of, don't talk. Deion Sanders is one of my favorite athletes of all time. Like, he's on a pedestal that is hard to reach for me personally. So you coming at my dog, you coming at me. You know what I'm saying? Pause. But that's crazy.
Coming at me.
Wow.
But yeah, I fell asleep. And then I saw the whole hit with Travis Hunter and. Was it dirty? Yeah, it was dirty. Was it late? Yeah, it was late. Should he got ejected? Me personally, I don't know because he didn't hit him in the head, and that's the way the rules are. But that's a whole nother story for another day. The death threats thing, like you brought up, that was weird. Like it's not that serious, y'all. He's 19, 20 years old. It's not that serious. But one thing I've learned about Deion, and I think people need to finally kind of come around to this point, is that Deion's good at anything he tries to do. Let's just be honest. What has he been bad at? Tell me, Sammy. What has he been bad at?
I agree.
So he's been like this his whole life. You know what I mean? He came into the league flashy. He left the league flashy. He's hopping on private jets to go to baseball games, playing the World Series, hop on a private jet to get back, play week 10 of the dude is on another level of stardom, and to get his sons to be, just settle down enough that they're not causing problems. They ain't doing nothing stupid. Because it's hard to be the son of a legend. We see Michael Jordan's sons ain't really done. Basketball wise, they ain't really done shit. But they have their own lives. One of them is dating Scottie Pippen's ex, Larsa. So we are obviously something's going on there. LeBron's kids, we'll see what happens with them, but it's just hard being the kid of a great. So I'm just happy to see Shador play the way he plays. Like Shador is. If anybody had doubts about him being an NFL talent only because of his name, if his last name was Robinson, Shador Robinson, and we just take Deion out of the whole picture, this kid that we're watching, he's a superstar, man. He's a budding superstar. So I'm liking what I'm seeing. The only thing about Colorado is that the schedule is about to get a little crazy, and the Pac-12 is about to dissolve, and it finally looks good again. So it's so annoying, but
it's crazy.
Yeah, the schedule about to be crazy. So we're about to see some real football and see, what they're really made of.
So, A-Rod, your realistic expectations for Colorado, and I know you probably touched on it last week, but obviously there's a huge game this week against Bo Nix and the Oregon Ducks. What do you see with this game?
All right, so I stayed up until 2:30 to watch that whole fucking game, man, because it was what Deion Sanders advertised, primetime TV, and it was like when they were down, it was gut-wrenching to you. You did not want to see that. You wanted them to come back. You're rooting for Deion. You're not rooting for Colorado. You're rooting for Deion Sanders to do well in this program.
Right.
And you're starting to fall in love with this team. His kids, they're pretty fucking good, man. They're really good. And the test of time is going to be the schedule, but to knock off a team that was in the national championship game one, yes, we all poo-pooed on the Horned Frogs and we're like, Alabama probably could have beat them if they had to play them in the national championship. Beating Nebraska, that's a big program too. Historically, it's been a pretty good program, and then beating your rivals, it's just really good to come into this big game to see that, a 3-game win streak. The test of time, of course, is going to be Oregon, because what did they score game one of the season? 80 points or something like that, or 60 points, something like that?
80, it's like 81.
Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be tough. But I think we're all fans of the show Ted Lasso, and what does he have up above his door?
Oh my God.
Believe. You gotta believe, bro.
Vic,
do you
bring
believe?
us back down to earth, Vic. Do you believe?
That was the first of all, A-Rod, that was the cleanest shit I've ever heard about. But let's get back to reality, guys. According to Pro Football Focus, Colorado Buffaloes have the 82nd ranked defense in the NCAA. That's not good enough, okay? And the 30th ranked offense, a total rank of 67th overall. I'm telling you right now, I don't see Buffalo beating Oregon. I don't even see Buffalo winning the Pac-12 or whatever they are, Pac-8 now. So they got Oregon, right? And then they got Caleb Williams and USC, right? You got no slouch in Arizona State, and then they go back to Utah in November. I don't see them winning any of those 3 games. So my best expectation for them, they're 3-0. So if they lose those 3, what is it, 10-3? That's my best expectation. There's no way they beat Oregon. No way they beat USC, and it's going to be a tough test against Utah. Not only that, I like Arizona State against them, so that's awesome for me, guys. Listen to me. I love the prime spread. I love the whole thing. How his son, especially his 2 sons on this team, actually. His son is playing at NFL quarterback level, where I think he can end up going in the first round of the draft this year. Even though Deion said he's not going this year, I think he'll go first round this year. But even with that gameplay, the defense is not good enough. That's what you need in college football. That's what has to be consistent. Unfortunately, their defense is not consistent enough and has not done well enough against, let's be honest, subpar competition. So I don't like the Buffalo.
So it's really quick. You said 10-3. To go from 1 win to 10, even 6 wins alone. I mean, from 1 to 6 is impressive. To get from 1 to like 9 or 10 wins, that's amazing. Honestly, when you really you think about it, even if they lose to USC and Oregon, which and obviously we know the schedule is going to get a little tougher, to go from 1 win, 86 new players on the team under scholarship, brand new everything. It's the first time all 86 of these kids play together. You're dealing with that. I mean, you're dealing with adversity. Cameras is on you every single day. The spotlight is on you every single day. Like now, y'all are big men on campus, and everybody's like trying to get autographs, and you can't go to Burger King anymore. You can't have it your way. So obviously, it's a lot. It's a lot for these young men to kind of like to deal with at this stage of the season. I mean, in their lives, And Deion said it, like, if you can't, because the way the spotlight is on Deion, and he said it. He was like, if you can't handle the spotlight, you can't play for my team, and it makes sense. Like, you gotta have enough of that thing about you.
And it would have been more impressive, KK, had he not brought in 82 something transfers from Jackson State and other universities. Then I would have said, wow, what a great coaching job. But he brought in studs. These are not shit players. He brought in 4-star, 5-star, 3-star recruits into a Colorado program that was struggling to get 3-star recruits.
But how does that not like make it even better? That shows his recruiting strength.
He's an awesome recruiter, and I think he's a great coach. I just don't think that this team has the defensive personnel to compete on the playoff stage this year. Now, I will say this: their pressure and what they've become is similar to what's happened to Messi in Inter Miami, right? This is a last place club. Messi comes in. Hey, this is a great comparison. Just hear me out. Okay, Messi comes in, and then it's all of a sudden they become favorites. Same thing happened with Coach Prime, right? They were at bottom of the Pac-8, Pac-12, whatever the hell they are now, right? The Pac non-existent, right? And then he comes in, and their expectations grow, and guess what? They're meeting expectations. I would love for them to continue to meet expectations, but I'm not living in a fairy tale world. Their defense is not good enough.
I think also losing Travis Hunter is going to be detrimental. I think everybody knows that as well. That's a big gimme because he's a two-way player in college football. He can play defense, he can play offense, and he's a stud. Pause at both of those things. So I think losing that's going to hurt them. But I'm on the bandwagon with this Colorado team, and I'm not big into college football. Me and KK have talked in the past. He gives me my praise for watching college football when I do, but I've never been more heavily invested in a program like I am right now with Colorado and watching the success that Deion is having. Because Deion also was one of my favorite players growing up, and watching him play and what he brought to the game, and then transitioning that to commentating, and then now to being a head coach. I told KK I didn't think he was going to be a good head coach, and what he did for Jackson State was amazing. And now just 3 games into Colorado, they won 1 game last year. 1 game. And I know, what was it, the early 90s, Colorado had a pretty good program. It was like 2 years they were good, and then they fell off the face of the earth completely every year after that. Nobody was afraid of Colorado. Now you got celebrities coming to the games. You got Lil Wayne walking them out to the games. You got Cameron pulling up, giving mad pauses in the locker room. You got it all going on there. Colorado is swaggy, and I'm riding the wave, man. I know Oregon is going to be tough. I know they're going to be tough. That's historically, at least of the last 15 years, have been a very good program, and it's going to be tough. But if anybody, who is it? KK, who said it? The one person you don't bet against is Deion Sanders. Who said that?
Skip Bayless.
Skip Bayless. Okay, I'm on that. If there's one thing that I agree with Skip Bayless, one thing I agree with Skip Bayless is don't bet against Deion, because every game I've gone in watching, I was like, damn, Deion's going to get blown out. Deion's going to lose this game. And I was betting against it. And now I'm not betting against Deion. So go Deion, man. Go Buffs. I'm all for it.
All right, let's move to the next topic. We're gonna stay in college football, but we're gonna talk a little bit. And KK, you kind of touched on it already. Obviously, from what we saw from Alabama for the first 3 weeks, hasn't been the greatest thing that we've seen from Alabama in a very, very long time. Now, honestly, this is something that I've alluded to a lot of people, even before the USF game. I have my receipts. And I said I didn't think USF was going to get blown out by the 40, 50 points that everybody predicted. And even Vegas predicted that they would get blown out by 34, or at least put the line at 34. Now, regardless of the USF game, I'll start with Vic, because Vic has a close tie to Alabama. But is this the beginning of the end of Alabama? Like, what is Nick Saban doing over there? What's the not working, and why do they look so shady to begin the season like this?
It's the offense. Nick Saban will constantly do this where he'll shuffle quarterbacks in between good quarterbacks. So, right, he just came off of Bryce Young. When he comes off of a good quarterback like Bryce Young or like a Jalen Hurts, there was a Tua, and then there was Bryce. So he had those good quarterbacks to go back on. But if you look back into the earlier years, right, where you had John David Booty, you had, what's his name, Starr, those guys. Nick Saban was constantly shuffling with his quarterback, which is what he's doing now, and has been detrimental to the team. Now I believe he's found his rhythm and his quarterback for this season. I think Alabama's going to be just fine. They have the 9th ranked defense in the league, and according to Pro Football Focus, the 5th overall best team so far. I think Alabama is going to be just fine. I'm not worried about it. I think it's early season struggles. And what we learned on the USF broadcast when they were playing Alabama is that Nick Saban's won the national championship every 3 years, at least once every 3 years. This is that 3rd year. I think they go back to the Natty and they win it. I like Alabama. I would put those futures in, boys. Get Alabama to win the national championship now if you can.
I don't know what you smoked before this episode, Vic. I love Alabama. Don't get me wrong. I don't think they're gonna win the Natty this year, though. But what I will say, Sammy, is you gotta just simmer down a little bit. Like, this is not the first time that they struggled at quarterback, and they find a way to make it work. Like, I was literally going to allude to it. Like, the early years.
Did you see how small USF looked compared to those Alabama players, though?
Tiny.
I mean, and I'm not going to say it's not like that. It's not like UF is that good, right? As compared to like years past. But we lost to UF by 1 point last year. Like, for whatever reason, we play up to our competition as well as we play down to our competition. It was really, really sad that we could. The harder teams like in like SEC, we play as hard as we can, and then our in conference teams, we suck. But back to Alabama, I think it's just like you said, it's just early season woes. It's a new era of college football, man. There's NIL, there's transfer portal, there's new coaches everywhere, new offensive coordinators, getting shuffled around. People just, it's the wild west right now. A lot of conference realignment. So there's a lot of distractions that are out there. But one thing I same thing we said about Deion is the same way I feel about Nick Saban. Like, especially in the college football ranks where you can't build a dynasty, quote unquote, because you can't have a Tom Brady for 20 years. You can't have a Aaron Rodgers. You know what I mean? But you can recruit your ass off for 20 years to 30 years, or however long it takes. And one thing I'm like, if Nick Saban or Deion Sanders is sitting on my couch to come recruit my future son. That would be crazy because Nick Saban's like 70, so I don't know how I feel about that. But at the same time, it's hard. That's like those are two people that it's going to be hard to say no to. So I believe in what Nick Saban got going on in Alabama. Like I said, they went back to the quarterback that they had a couple of weeks ago. I don't know what the hell they were doing with these two bums over the weekend. They should get transferred to like Florida Atlantic and I don't know, Stetson College. They should go to HCC and Stetson or some shit like that. I don't know what the hell's going on, but Alabama's fine.
Hey, Vic, you're gonna have to show us those bet slips by the end of the season, according to Kurt. So just letting you know.
Well, I believe Kurt was one that didn't believe in the Bengals when they went to the Super Bowl either. So just get on my back, baby. Just listen to me, all right?
Hey, Rod, what's your sound off on the Alabama Crimson Tide?
I'm a believer when I see it. When I see it, that's when I'll believe it with Alabama. That's how I view it. And I haven't seen it. Just like KK alluded to, they have these woes sometimes, and Nick Saban has to do, a roster adjustment. And game one from the one kid that was a quarterback, you could see he wasn't confident. He didn't have it all there. So putting in the other kid and then putting in the other kid, you found some fluidity there. So they'll figure it out. The defense is a very good defense every year. If anything, Saban recruits. It's definitely defensive players. He definitely can get the pull there. But when it comes to offense, it's not as strong as it should be. but he'll figure it out and he'll right the ship. I don't know about them in the national championship. I know the 3-year is here, and we'll see what happens. And maybe there's a script for college football. We don't know, but at the same time, it's just interesting. It was interesting for me to watch that game, and I went into an expectation that we're going to get waxed by 40 points, and we only held them to 17 points. That's crazy to think that to me. I never would have thought in my lifetime to see something like that. And then you allude to the Florida game.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome. I don't watch a lot of college football.
Can I have my flowers?
That's my novice. That's my novice coming into this. I pay attention more to players and games during the season that matter, as opposed to, oh shit, Georgia Tech is playing fucking Illinois. I don't give a fuck about that. Some people get high off of that. So I'm just more care about the big pack whatever games that are being played, Oregon versus USC, Texas versus Oklahoma. Like those type of games are the ones that get me excited. But, Boise State versus Montana Southern Christian Methodist of the blind Catholic girls school, like fuck that bullshit, man. I thought USF was going to get fucking trampled, and they held their own, and hey, go Bulls. That's all I can say, man. You did your job. I knew you were going to lose, but you held your own.
Hell yeah.
Vic, real quick. Somehow, some way, you got me almost convinced that Alabama was going to make it to the Natty. Like, I don't even know how you were able to do that without saying anything over the last minute and a half. But I'm like, damn, maybe he's right.
I got ties. I got a boy that went there. I can tell him, let me see the script that you got. I just want to see that script.
I'm telling you right now, Jalen Milroe is a better quarterback than people give him credit for.
Sure.
And I think that if you look at that second half of that USF game, they were a different team when Milroe was at the helm. And let's not discount the storm that really hindered that game, made it a tough field to play on. Mm-hmm. So let's take in those factors. They're not as bad as a team as we think on offense. I think they had tough conditions. I don't think they're the best offense in the NFL, in the NCAA, but I think that their defense is the best defense in the NCAA, and they have the best coach in the NCAA. And that is what is consistent in college football is your defense. As long as your defense is consistently top 10, you're in the conversation. And I think that's what Alabama is. And I think that they are going to go to the national championship this year. And I think they are going to win it.
All right. Damn. Okay. KK, did you want to sound off anything on Michigan or anything before we move on to the NFL? KK froze. KK still with us? Oh, I think KK dropped off.
2K, no more.
All right, we'll have him jump back in whenever he can. Let's see. Did he text us? Y'all can still hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, his Wi-Fi cut out. All right.
His Wi-Fi cut out.
All right, perfect. So let's move on to let's move on to the NFL Week 2. So I was gonna really start this off with the Eagles, so we got to move on to.
Whoops.
Yeah, whoops.
Let's
Big whoops.
So let's move on to the Jets panic meter. A-Rod, I know. I'll let you sound off. What are your feelings after that Dallas game? Obviously, you couldn't have had high expectations, but was there anything positive to take from that?
Yeah, show me a gun. That's all I can say. It's like, show me a gun at this point. I was saying that I wasn't scared of Dallas, and I truly wasn't scared of Dallas going into that game. But the idea is run the football. Run the fucking football. It's easy as that. Run the fucking football. And when you give the ball to Breece Hall 4 times and the ball to Dalvin Cook 6 times for a total of 10 attempts, that's nothing. What are we doing? What the fuck are we doing? So putting the faith in Zach Wilson to throw the ball for, multiple picks, 3, 4, whatever the fuck it was. I don't even give a fuck. I just know he leads the league in interceptions. My panic meter is pretty high. I'm not going to lie. Everybody's like, oh, you're okay. You've got this great defense. Yeah, we have this great defense. I'm not taking that away from your assessment of that. But when you have a quarterback that makes bonehead plays and doesn't have confidence, and everyone on the team does not have confidence in him as well, and they just look like we're fucking falling from this point, and they have that going over them like they did last year, that's going to be the play. That's going to be what's going on. So yeah, my panic meter's at about an 8 right now. I'm not even going to lie. I'm pretty fucking scared. And I know it's only 2 games into the season, but we're just picking up where we left off last year. We're literally picking up where we left off last year. We beat Buffalo. We beat Buffalo once, and now we're playing Dallas, and we lose to Dallas very, very badly. So I'm shitting my pants. I'm not gonna lie. You can try and sugarcoat it and make me feel good about it, but I've got a big sack of shit in my pants right now when it comes to watching Zach Wilson come out there and slang the rock or whatever you want to call it. So
Vic.
it's a shit show.
So obviously it's coming down to us two to sound off on the state of the New England Patriots. I know you and I have differing views on what we think about the New England Patriots this season. Now, I'll let you start because I know I'm going to have a rebuttal for yours.
No, it's not a rebuttal, Sammy. You are delusional, my guy. Okay? You know who has somebody, you know a quarterback that has less yards per attempt than Zach Wilson? His name is Mac Jones.
Oh my God! Shut up, Vic.
Cry me a fucking river, dude. Okay, you know who is a worse overall? And I'll take into account the line. Yes, we have the worst line. Our line is dog shit. But you know who has a lower completion percentage than Baker fucking Mayfield is Mac Jones. You know who has less fourth quarter comebacks than Zach Wilson? Mac Jones. So I don't want to hear it with Mac Jones is okay. It's not Mac's fault. Mac's fine. Mac is bad. Get it through our heads. Sammy, Pats Nation, stop saying he's not that bad. He is bad, my guy. And even and with no weapons, with no offensive line, he is horrendous. I mean, this team is awful. And I think the Pats are in for a huge regression from last year. I think we're going to be in every game because of our defense, but we are not going to win shit. That's it.
Show me a gun.
I think, honestly, I think you're delusional, to be fair.
I really
I really think you're delusional.
Really
If you watch that game Sunday night and you truly believe Mac Jones didn't at least try to play winning football with the haystacks that he has out there, I don't know. And honestly, I put most of the blame on Bill Belichick because Pop Douglas, a 6th-round pick,
a rookie wide receiver in the 6th round is going to make a difference.
Let me finish.
I'm proud of you, Sammy.
Let me finish.
Preach.
Pop
Suck
Douglas,
that man's dick. Pause.
rookie wide receiver from Liberty, FCS school or whatever you want to call it, right? Like barely an FBS school. Didn't play any games in the preseason. Dude looked like the only guy. And Cake, we watched the Eagles game together. He looked like one of the only guys on that team that could get open. And even against Miami, he showed it again. He had those 2 great catches, one for 9 yards where he scampered, and he was the only guy that can make people miss. And that play where he fumbled. Granted, he fumbled it, but you cannot tell me that move where he stops on a dime and has everybody going the other direction. And yes, he's got like an all-pro linebacker stripping the ball from behind him. That's unfortunate, and he has to hold on to that football. But if you have that much lack of talent and the only guy that can get open is him, you're going to bench him? Like, it's like literally a death sentence. Bill Belichick gave Mac Jones a losing hand. Bill O'Brien clearly knows that the offensive line can't block. That's why he's got Mac Jones in shotgun. That's why we're not running the ball from under center as much, because the O-line can't do shit. Not to mention, Mac Jones is, 2.5 to 2.8 second release, because he can't, nobody can get downfield. Number 2, he has no time to wait for anybody to get downfield. And if you think that guys like Devontae Parker, Juju Smith-Schuster, who is honestly also injured, granted he can't run, period, but number 2, he was also injured this past week. You could tell. Like, the only guys that can really do anything are Hunter Henry and Matt Gesicki, because they're literally just posting up safeties and linebackers. That's really all they're doing. The same exact pass that Mac Jones threw to Devontae Parker, and Parker dropped it, Hunter Henry was able to catch it in the end zone. Like, I just don't understand why everybody is blaming Mac, or everybody is blaming Mac. It's not really his fault yet, right? I'm not saying he's the answer. I'm not saying we build around him. But if you're not, I mean, I got a cat screaming in the background. They're mad at me too. But it's asinine to me. Like, but Mac Jones is dealt a losing hand. But again, I'm gonna leave it at that. Vic, you made your point. I made mine. KK, I wanted to put you on the clock for your Philadelphia Eagles because I wanted to gauge your slight panic meter, because you got to be a little bit panicked with what you're seeing from the Philadelphia Eagles, because I bet you expected these Eagles to come out and just absolutely dominate it. And granted, they scored a lot of points against the Vikings, but the Vikings you didn't blow them out.
First of all, really quick with the Patriots, Tom Brady was given haystacks for a long time.
But Mac Jones is not Tom Brady. Mac Jones is not Tom Brady.
He did just fine with
Mac Jones is not Tom Brady.
I know he's not Tom Brady. I'm just saying.
Mac Jones' name is Scott Polak.
This is Bill Belichick's system.
Hold on, too. KK, give me what you think your panic meter is on the Jets right now, too, because we're kind of on the same page. I want to hear what you got to say really quick, too.
On the Jets?
Yeah, because that's what we were talking about, and then we talked it into Towny time back again. So
listen, I mean, y'all defense is fantastic.
It is,
but they can only hold up so long.
Exactly,
they can only hold up so long when the quarterback is scared to play football. And I wanted, after watching Hard Knocks over the summer, I was like, man, I'm so proud. He's so mature. He was not supposed to be playing this season. There's no way in hell he was ready to play this season. He needed to be like Jordan Love and watch this great quarterback be great. He needed to do that, and he was robbed of that. And now you throw him into the den against Buffalo, and then you follow that up with probably the number one defense in the league, the Cowboys. I mean, he's been dealt a tough hand. We talk about haystacks in New England. That's one thing. This young man has been dealt a
he is the haystack. He's the fucking haystack.
He's the haystack surrounded by a bunch of crown jewels. So, unfortunately, that 14-win prediction.
No, I came down from that. Don't worry.
Come on down, baby.
It starts to fall more.
Even last year, you were almost still a believer. But listen, it was the Cowboy. Like, as much as I hate to say it, and I'm about to talk about the Eagles now, because as much as I hate to say it, the Cowboys are the best team in the division right now. That's fine. I can accept that. Watching Philadelphia play, obviously it hasn't been pretty. But I didn't expect us to roll out into the season and just blow everybody out. I mean, there's going to be some hangover from the Super Bowl. That's just how it is. When the team that loses the Super Bowl is always a hangover right after. It's just natural, right? So I wasn't expecting us just to run out the gate and just destroy everybody. What I am concerned about is our injuries. Our defense is just taking lick after lick, just boom, boom, boom. Avonte Maddox out for the year. We didn't have Blankenship play that game. We didn't have Jacoby Dean's out for a few weeks. Bradbury had a concussion. So, quite frankly, if you look at, they scored 28 points, the Vikings. That last drive was just empty calories anyway. It wasn't like that really meant anything to me. The game was 34-21 for all of the fourth quarter. So I'm not going to count that last drive as anything. And what I do, and we have a new offensive coordinator, Brian Johnson. So obviously there's going to be a philosophy change. There's going to be a little bit of a change from a philosophy standpoint. But one thing I do love, and one thing Sirianni, I love about is that he don't give a damn how much talent he has on the outside. Our talent is in the trenches. We gonna block and we gonna get after the quarterback. And DeAndre Swift, who was basically a healthy scratch against the Patriots, on a short week, 28 carries, 175 yards, and a touchdown. Out of the blue. So at the end of the day, one thing I know we're gonna be able to do no matter what, we're gonna run the hell out of the football. And I don't mind us not trying to be cute with it. Like, I don't care if we win ugly. I just want to win. And I don't mind mauling people for 60 minutes if that's what it takes. The ugly little quarterback sneak, cool, whatever. It works. Who am I to get mad about that? It works. So, I don't mind the ugly football from an offensive standpoint because that's that's basically old school football. It's just take the passes where you can get them. I mean, think about it. Devontae Smith and AJ Brown combined for 8 catches combined. Your number 1 and number 2 receivers, and who are both uber talented, combined for 8 catches, and we were fine. I know AJ Brown was spazzing on the sideline, but he's a wide receiver. Of course, he was spazzing on the sideline. Everybody's making a big deal out of that. Every wide receiver who doesn't get the football is going to do the same thing. So I'm not concerned. Just defensively, we just got to get healthy. And Jalen Carter, I'm feeling pretty good about my DPO, my rookie DPOY. He's a dog. Like I think he has like 13 or 14 quarterback pressure. I think he's leading. Like he's like second or third in the league in quarterback pressure. So the dude is a dog. So yeah, I'm not overly concerned, but I am a little. I'm not too happy about where we're at defensively. I can definitely admit to that. I mean, Hassan Reddick has been basically a no-show this year. Like, last year I was beating the drum like Hassan Reddick got this many sacks. Screw Micah Parsons. My bad, Micah. My bad. So yeah, Hassan Reddick hasn't really shown up yet. So
I'm okay with it. I know you got to get through the growing pains, new season, a whole bunch of new players there. My only gripe is like DeAndre Swift. We expected so much from this man, and he was given the keys to the city pretty much to be RB1 and with the Lions, and then Jamal Williams showed up with his Pokemon hat and took it away. And now we find him in Philadelphia. And game 1, abysmal.
it wasn't abysmal. He didn't play. That has nothing to do with him.
Abysmal. So, game 2, I know we're going to touch on this a little bit, like who's phony, who's fake. I just want to know if the man's phony or fake. Who is he real? Is he not? Like, who is this guy? Because I've been so high on this guy.
It's not real.
Exactly.
Oh, shit.
The guy had you would have thought if you were Minnesota that entire game, you would have knew what the game plan was. They're going to give it to DeAndre Swift, but they're lining up like they're going to throw the ball. I was like, this. I could have had 100 yards rushing that game if I wanted to go out there and play, man. It was insane.
Yeah. Right.
So the Eagles are fine.
Listen, DeAndre Swift, week 1, had 1 carry. What the hell do you want him to do with 1 carry?
Oh, listen, I got off. You heard my soapbox. What was the game plan for the Jets? Run the ball, right? Brees Hall 4 rush yards. Trust me, brother. We're in the foxhole together. We're in the foxhole.
But at least, I mean, yeah, that's another story. Okay, we were playing with the lead. Y'all were playing from behind. There's a whole nother philosophy when you're doing
pause.
Play like that. I know, pause, but y'all were playing without the lead. We were playing with the lead. So we play keep away. Y'all playing. We need to catch up. So.
All right. So the whole reason why I wanted to bring that up, because one of my favorite segments, as you guys know, and this is what I'm bringing from our show to yours. I know you guys enjoyed having this fun, and I'm putting you on blast, KK, because I've been very, very unimpressed with what your boy is doing on offense. I don't know. It's probably not all his fault. I know there's some growing pains to go through. It's only week 2, but hey, we got a weekly show. We got to talk about shit like this, right? So who do you love? Who do you love segment. Here we go. Jalen Hurts is on the clock. Now, remember how we do this, right? We take a little bit of stock in last year, but talking about this year, what we're seeing in the first 2 weeks of the NFL season. KK, you're going to go last on the first one. We'll start with A-Rod. Jalen Hurts or Trevor Lawrence?
I love Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
Pause.
Vic.
You can love another man. Stop it, man. Y'all, this pause culture is getting out of hand, y'all. It's getting out of hand. This is why there's toxic masculinity, y'all.
Hey, trust me, I'm the first one to preach that, but you can thank Cam and Mace for ruining that for us all. So. Right.
Jalen Hurts or Trevor Lawrence, Vic?
Jalen Hurts.
KK.
Come on now. Next question.
Damn, this I actually might not have picked the right grouping here. A-Rod.
I don't think you did.
Well, I did it based on week 1. I mean, the only ones that I'm trying to see. Well, I mean, the second one is probably better, technically, so far this season.
Can I give you one?
Sure.
Just to throw in there. Jalen Hurts or Anthony Richardson?
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts. Only because yeah. But
Come on,
I like what
man.
I saw in week 1.
You see, you know what y'all problem? You know what the problem is?
Fantasy football.
We live in a culture and a society that we're so hung up on what we see on fantasy football points Fantasy football is not real, okay? I want to see you go. I want to see you going through your progressions. I want to see how you react to turnovers. I want to see you not put your body in harm's way.
I'm gonna clip that video, KK, and I'm gonna mash it up with the girl in the airplane. Fantasy football is not real.
But y'all got me activated right now. I wasn't trying to be activated, man. I had a long day at work.
You said all that, KK, but you picked Jalen Hurts over Trevor Lawrence.
Okay, cool. I'm taking Jalen Hurts over Trevor Lawrence. Not because of fantasy. Let me explain to you about Jalen Hurts. Why I'm such a fan of Jalen Hurts. The kid is what, 25, 26, 20, 25, whatever he is, right? He's in his
I think he's 26.
2020. He's in his fourth season. The dude has had up until last year. Last year was the first time he had an offensive coordinator for 2 years in a row. And now he lost his offensive coordinator again. This dude has been resilient over and over and over his whole life. College with Tua, went to Oklahoma, runner-up for Heisman. Got drafted by the Eagles while we already had Carson Wentz, and everybody fell in love with Jalen Hurts before he even touched the field. Why? Because of his leadership ability, and that's also part of being a quarterback. Anybody can throw the ball 70 yards down the field. Anybody can do all this crazy acrobatic, football shit, right? But it's up here for me. What's up there in your brain? Jalen Hurts is so mature to me. So I don't care if he has a game where it doesn't look so pretty. I know that it's not going to bother him as much as it's going to bother. Like for no offense, A-Rod, but Zach Wilson, you can see.
There's no offense there.
Yeah, he's got no connection to that man.
You can see him physically and mentally break down when he starts to make mistakes, right?
Absolutely.
There's a level of
quarterbacking
where you're able to have a short-term memory, and that's what I feel about Jalen Hurts. So yeah, bring it on.
All right, so we know all your answers for the next three guys, but A-Rod.
Not necessarily.
Jalen Hurts or Brock Purdy?
Oh man, Jalen Hurts still.
Disrespectful. What the hell has Brock Purdy done? He's won a couple. His team is loaded. His team is amazing.
He's a good leader. Next one.
Jalen Hurts or Jordan Love?
Come on.
Jalen Hurts.
What is this disrespect? I'm not doing this right now.
All right, and this last one. Actually, two of these guys are ranked better than Jalen Hurts this season. So,
after 2 games, that's what we're doing.
Let's hear it. Come on.
Jalen Hurts.
You saw the NFL Top 100?
Jalen Hurts or Jared Goff?
Jalen Hurts.
I'm going to take Jalen because Jared Goff can't play on the road. He can't play on the road, and he can't play outside of a dome. So, yeah,
I kind of just wanted to rile KK up a little bit when I said the Anthony Richardson thing. I love Jalen Hurts. I'm a huge Jalen Hurts guy. He comes from a great family. He's a wonderful young man. I was crying when the Pats didn't take him in the second round of that draft. I really like Jalen Hurts. I think he's going to end up being one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL.
I had to poke fun at you, KK, on the first episode. Come on now. I wasn't going to choose Zach Wilson. That's not fun. Or Mac Jones. That's not fun either.
I want to give me something better than that. Give me like a Joe Burrow. Give me something that I got. Because Joe Burrow
Burrow's hurt, though. He's hurt.
Think about it.
He's
Joe
hurt.
Burrow
We're going to get to the hurt. We're going to get to Burrow. Burrow's not safe. Burrow's not safe. Nobody's safe.
I think Joe Burrow's still top 3, though. So I'm going to just leave that right there.
All right, so staying in the NFL, some local chatter. We got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers sitting at 2-0 right now. I mean, it looks like the NFC South is the powerhouse of the NFL this year. Baker Mayfield playing good enough, right? Like you see what he's doing. He's not making the mistakes. He's playing within himself, which is really good to see. So we'll start with you this time, KK. What do you see with the Bucs, and what are your realistic expectations for the Bucs for the rest of the season?
So last year, all year long, I had to go on Twitter and see all these, crying ass Buck fans, fire him and fire them, and we suck, and blah blah blah. And you know how I felt about Tom Brady Bucs fans, the ones that just showed up out of nowhere. So now all year I was the one that kept saying Todd Bowles is fine. Leave him out of this. Stop trying to say he's a bad coach. Like I don't want to hear it, right? And now they're 2-0. Ain't nobody saying shit about Todd Bowles no more. So I just want to try to keep that same energy. People who were saying Todd Bowles should be fired, but anyway, so first of all, with Baker Mayfield, I'm so proud of Baker Mayfield because I've been very tough on him because some days I wake up and I'm like, I like Baker Mayfield. And other days I wake up, I'm like, man, I can't stand this fucking guy. Like he's just so whatever, bro. Anyway, so I like what he's doing. Like he's how do I put it? He's dealing with what he has in front of him perfectly. And like that week 1 game where he had to run to get that first down. As soon as it happened, I texted my girl. I was like, Tom Brady would not have made that first down because he can't run. so you gotta just be happy with what you got offensively because you got Mike Evans who y'all should have paid the man. Now he's about to show out and go for like 1,300, 1,400 yards this year and 10 touchdowns. We're gonna see. You got Chris Godwin, Rachaad White. He's fine. So the offense is pretty decent. The offensive line could be a little bit better. But one thing about the Bucs, the defense has been fine. Like the defense kept them in games last year when the offense was lagging behind, and now this year the defense is showing out. Like they're healthy. You can see you can see the continuity on the defensive end. So I like where the Bucs are heading as far as trajectory. Now, looking at their schedule, they obviously have to play the Philadelphia Eagles next. We're gonna have to stop that shit.
We're gonna get there.
All that lovey-dovey Buccaneers shit that I give y'all can get it for me after week 3, but not this week. Y'all to opt this week, so cool. But looking at the schedule, so we look at the division, right? Obviously, like you said, the beast, the beast of the league right now, the NFC South. Obviously, they'll come back down to earth at some point. But the Falcons, the Bucs, and the Saints, to me, are all equally as good. Like they're all interchangeable because the Saints don't do anything for me that's impressive. Like Derek Carr, people like Derek Carr a lot. I still don't see what the difference between him and Andy Dalton is. It's literally the same person to me. And then you look at the Falcons. I love the fact that they don't like the Eagles. They don't give a shit how ugly it looks. We don't care that we drafted Kyle Pitts 4th overall. Sorry for your fantasy team. We don't care that Drake London only had one catch. Sorry for your fantasy team. We have Bijan Robinson and we have Tyler Algier and we have Desmond Ridder. We're going to run the football, and whether you like it or not. So they have a young offense and a veteran-led defense. So I like the kind of nucleus that they have. So I look at the Falcons, I look at the Saints, and I look at the Bucs. I'm like, they'll probably be neck and neck with each other all year, but the Bucs got to still play Detroit, Buffalo, Tennessee, San Francisco, Jacksonville, Green Bay. So but I might be willing to go to like 7 or 8. But well, we'll see how Baker Mayfield does with now that he's going to start having expectations. Because it's one thing when no one believes in you and you got to go, prove the world wrong. But now we have expectations. Now we got to see, what Baker Mayfield's going to show up. So we'll see.
Hey, Rod, what do you think?
I think to piggyback off of what KK just said, like Baker's had that mentality everywhere he's gone, like prove us wrong or you're back up against the wall and you got to do, and Baker's going to do what Baker's going to do. I think what the Bucs is K, and I think you should agree with me on this. We got to give Pless flowers. We really got to give Pless some flowers on what he said about the offensive coordinator for the Bucs. He's really making it look like they got their shit together now.
Yeah,
and no offense to Byron Leftwich, I didn't think he was the problem. I thought there was a lot of injuries all over the place, and I'll still beat that dead horse every day. There is no secondary, so you can throw on these boys, no problem. The front line is scary, and the linebackers are not
that bad, bro.
it is that bad to me. I'm sorry, but I think the new offensive coordinator they got from Seattle, he's making a difference there, and you're seeing it with Baker. He's able to get the best out of Baker, and this Bucs team, it's not picking up from where it left off last year. I mean, they do have a tough game against you this week, of course. But come on, let's be honest. If you really thought the Chicago Bears were going to be this good this year, okay, you're full of shit. I'm sorry. Because one, you have Justin Fields on your fantasy team and you're riding off that wave from last year.
Exactly.
I don't want to hear that shit. And two, they have nobody on defense. So I don't want to hear a fucking word that, the Bears are not a problem. Everyone was going to beat the Bears. Okay. So stop that shit. But I think the Bucs are sitting in a competitive division between the Falcons and the Saints. I gave the Saints a leg over them, but now Jamal Williams out, and you got to see Trey Jones got to get busy for a game, and then Alvin Kamara is going to come back. We'll see how that happens. I still give the Saints a little bit of an edge. The Falcons, I'll give you your flowers, KK. I wasn't really paying attention to the Falcons, but they got the shit working. They got the shit working, and Bijan Robinson is the truth. So it's every one of those teams has something that comes to the table. The Bucs have the old mixed in with the new with the defense. The Saints just have what they do. It's the same thing every year. Insert a coach that's been on the defensive side, now the head coach. And the Falcons, coming from the tree of the Saints, Tennessee head coach, run the damn football, and they got it all down to science. So I'll give credit to all of those teams. It's anybody's game in my books except Carolina's. Woof.
Poor Bryce. And just real quick with your little secondary take. So obviously you haven't seen that rookie Christian Izzy. I mean, he's looked pretty solid. Ryan Neal has been pretty solid in his career. Antoine Winfield Jr. is pretty solid. Carlton Davis is solid. So I don't really get the secondary being that bad. It's just, to me, that defense is exactly
a solid can turn to a liquid very quick. Okay, solid. All you got to do is cook them. Just cook them once, and they'll turn into a liquid, bro. Trust me. If there's anything, I don't get scared by the Bucs second. They're not scary.
Well, hopefully you're right, because I want to see my dog AJ Brown go for 200 yards on Monday Night Football, baby, or Devontae Smith. I don't give a damn. I'll be happy either way. But let's go.
Or Dallas Goedert, for the love of God, Dallas Goedert, show up for me.
Yeah, y'all let this fantasy shit get to y'all head. It's not his fault.
All right, so let's move on to this next little segment. Let's keep it kind of quick.
Really quick, KK, if you were to 0-2 in the league, you'd be the same way. Go.
I'm 0-2 in the league as well, so don't worry.
We'll get the shovel afterwards. Go, Sammy.
So to keep a little bit on the NFL, we'll touch on this a little quick. I wanted to go through it a little bit more, but given the time, and we still have pretty good amount of segments left. So let's just go through the Grim Reaper segment. So this is kind of like a segment that we talk about key injuries, what it means for their respective teams, especially with some big injuries early on in the season, right? So obviously this segment might not occur every single week, but this week is pretty significant.
Hopefully it doesn't.
Yeah, I know. This is going to be pretty pretty significant this week. So obviously Saquon Barkley doesn't look like he's going to be playing tomorrow. Not that it matters. They're playing the 49ers, so it's not like I don't think they would have won anyway. Joe Burrow, calf issues flaring up. So it looks like he's probably doubtful for this Sunday and for a few weeks, but we'll see what they say going forward. And then obviously the biggest one, I think, out of all of them, I had a couple others after, but those are still questionable players other than Austin Eckler. But obviously Nick Chubb. What happened to Nick Chubb on Monday night was absolutely gruesome. But yeah, of those three guys, I mean, if there's any you think of, let's start with Vic. Vic didn't get a lot of take on the Bucs, but Vic, of those three guys, which of those injuries is the most significant and how they're going to affect their team going forward?
Well, obviously you got to go quarterback here and talk about Joe Burrow. Losing a quarterback is the most detrimental thing in football. So it's got to be Joe Burrow, bar none. What he means to that offense, Well, I don't even know who Joe Burrow's backup is. I'll be honest.
I was about to ask.
I don't know. Well, I guess we'll find out Sunday. So yeah, this is a sports podcast. But no, seriously, I mean, it's going to be tough for that offense. Now we'll see what happens with if they have somebody slide in there.
Who the hell is
Who is
Jake
it?
Browning?
Exactly. It doesn't matter.
Who?
Vic. Go, keep going.
Jake Browning.
Dave Browning. Okay. Hey,
hold
here's
on.
what it is. But definitely Joe Burrow. I'm not going to elaborate. I don't think it needs to be elaborated any further than that. Joe Burrow is definitely the most important.
A-Rod.
I agree, Joe Burrow. But watching that Nick Chubb one was really brutal to me because he's on my fantasy team and my first pick, and I hate alluding to that.
Fantasy's not real.
It isn't. It's not real. But
His knee is real. Now you got to deal with that.
No. What's more bothersome to me is hearing a man scream at the top of his lungs on Monday Night Football. That bothered me. And you cannot not hate Nick Chubb. He's a silent assassin. He's a very humble dude. We don't give Nick Chubb his flowers enough like we should. We talk about the Derrick Henrys. We talk about the Austin Ecklers. We talk about the Christian McCaffreys. And Nick Chubb continuously does it and does it and does it and does it every year from the moment his name was called. And I just, I wish him a speedy recovery. It's not looking good, like he's got to get 2 surgeries. It's super unfortunate for the Browns. But yeah, if I had to agree on which of those 3 is more detrimental, it's definitely Joe Burrow. But Nick Chubb is probably my favorite running back in the league, him and Derrick Henry. So seeing him go down, it just hurts for me to see that. So I'll just leave that at that.
KK.
So real quick, you talk about flowers. We both have Nick Chubb as number 3 in our running back list, so we give him his flowers. I know the two of us. If anybody's giving Nick Chubb his flowers, I know the two of us have a lot of respect for Nick Chubb. Now, really, before I even get to these 3, it was a bad weekend for running backs. Obviously, everything going over the summer. It's just like, and you know what makes it worse is that Christian McCaffrey still looked amazing. So it's like, on one hand, you still got McCaffrey doing what he does, but there's not that many McCaffreys in the league, and I think that's what the point of what these GMs are saying. So, there's only a couple of McCaffreys and Derrick Henrys.
You got to take into consideration McCaffrey's like a ticking time bomb,
And he's white. And he white.
Anyway, he's amazing, but obviously Joe Burrow being the quarterback is good. I've never heard of Jake Browning, so that hopefully I don't have to hear about him again.
From Washington, I know him.
I don't get too, bro. Come on, man. Think about it. He
don't scare me. He don't scare me.
When we watching college football on Saturday, right? We watch it all day long. By 10 p.m., who the hell wants to watch a Pac-12 game? I'm sorry, bro. I'm tired.
Nah, I'm gonna take you on that. Fuck Pac-12. Pac 8, Pac 6.
If it I only watch USC. If it's the West Coast, I'm only watching maybe Oregon. Maybe Oregon, but that's it. But anyway, obviously, with Joe Burrow, right? It's just, that team is off to an 0-2 start. They were off to an 0-2 start last year, so obviously you don't want to hit the panic button, but you have to hit the panic button because A-Rod thought it was all just money. I knew he got paid, cool, but I knew that cap was something up. And when you have surgery from an ACL tear, and you're always going to overcompensate on the other leg, and then you transfer it back to the other leg. It's just it becomes like a whole kerfuffle. So, but yeah, it really does suck for Joe Burrow. And then also Monday Night Football. If you have a player on fantasy and he plays Monday Night Football, don't play him, because lately we're just seeing people getting their legs chopped off, Aaron Rodgers falling and sitting in depression. One player died on the field for crying out loud, and they had to resuscitate. Like, Monday Night Football lately is like you're waiting for the crazy thing to happen. So I don't know if I could watch it. I don't know if I could after the now. I'm scared for this Eagles-Bucks game. I'm just saying right now, I'm scared.
I'm petitioning for Joe Buck and Troigman to get the fuck off of there. That's what I'm doing, man.
Nah, I ain't gonna. Hey, listen. This past week, I was a fan. I was like, you know what? Because I was switching between actually week 1, I was switching between Manny Cast and Joe Buck and them. I was like, damn, Peyton and Eli are boring me today. And I went back to the Buck and Aikman. I was enjoying it. So
hey, but Peyton and Eli are like an 0-2 team. They got to pick up some steam and then they start going, and that.
They got to get better guests on this show. That's what they need.
Average Kurt said, JC said, bring back the wizard Tony Romo.
Even Tony. I was reading some reports about Tony, like after the season last year, and his ratings have like dropped immensely. They said that these people who do ratings on announcing and all that shit, they said basically his 2K number was at once like a 95. He's not like an 85. Like he's dropping a little bit. So he didn't get his what is it, MC points or whatever. He got his BCs, whatever it is. He got to get his BCs up.
Average Kurt says Joe Buck licks car windows.
2K24 is probably the worst fucking video game I've ever played in my life. That shit is fucking ass, and 2K should be ashamed. That's all I want to say about it. I'm not going to say anything else. All I want to say.
All right.
Debatable.
So I got this next segment. I wanted to give a shout out to you guys because I know you guys do a lot of like hip hop themes. So this gave me the idea. So this is an homage to the Jadakiss and Swiss Beats track from back in the day, Who's Real. So the name of this segment is Who's Phony, Who's Fake. So obviously,
that's the type of
hey. So the Cowboys and the Niners, I mean, as you already alluded to, KK, and I think some of the people have talked about, the Niners being some of the better teams in the league right now. So we see it. They passed the eye test. The stats are there, all that. It's only week 2, of course. So, we got to overreact, though, right? This is what we do. This is a show. We got to do it. Now, I'm going to start off with the who's
real
fake
quick. With
list.
those two, it's not an overreaction. They're solid.
Yeah.
They're solid.
I still don't like
the Cowboys
Dak,
not
but,
solid because the Cowboys. But the 49ers?
Yeah, Niners are legit.
They scared the hell out of me.
So this is probably going to be fairly easy now that I'm looking at it. But I think one of these teams is fairly real. But who is fake of the remaining 3 2-0 teams? Or, yeah, the remaining 3. So it's Cowboys, Niners, Eagles, Dolphins. I think those 4, we know they're real. No need to talk about them. Move on, right? So we have the Falcons, Commanders, Saints, and Bucks. I don't have the Bucks on this list, but the Bucks are the other 2-0 teams left. So, KK, we'll start with you this time. Who is fake? Or are they all? And by fake, I mean like a playoff team, potential contender, somebody that can make some noise.
For them to be real, what's the ceiling?
Playoffs.
No, because that's not fair. Because they could. I want to say not like
10 games.
Yeah,
10 games.
I was gonna say 10. Yeah, 10.
Out of this list,
who's fake?
Ain't nobody winning no damn 10 games out of this list.
You don't think any of those teams can run into 10?
Basically, the Falcons, Saints, and Bucks will all be. You know how last year it was like they were all within like a game and a half of each other, like going into like the last couple of weeks. It's gonna be the same thing again. They'll finish like 9-8, 8-9, and there might be a 10-7 that slips in there. But out of the NFC South, I would say the fakest out of the NFC South would be. Man, that's tough.
I think it's the Saints.
I want to say the Saints. I really do. I really want to say the Saints, but like I have a lot of like love for like Olave and Michael Thomas. Even though I hate Ohio State,
this guy loves fantasy football.
For whatever reason, Ohio State receivers, I don't know. I just have like a kinship with them. It's really strange. So I want to, and then Kamara's going to be coming back, and everyone's favorite quarterback, Derek Carr, he's keeping the ship steady. But I want to say the Saints, honestly. And then with Washington, I like what they got going on in Washington. Eric Bieniemy is obviously helping that situation a lot. Brian Robinson, I don't know why all summer everyone was like Gibson's going to be the number 1. I'm like, no, he's not. Brian Robinson got shot in his knee last year and came out to many men like not that many days later and was on the field. So he's real. Brian Robinson is real, and they got Logan Thomas looking good again. Like I don't know. I like what Washington got going on.
Big O KK rolling down the roster again on us. A-Rod.
I will. Who does that? And I hate that he does it because I follow. I don't like to watch him, but Stephen A. Smith would be doing that kind of shit. He was like, you got Tyreek Hill and them boys, and then you got and them guys over there, and they ain't no slouch. I tell you, he ain't no slouch. But yeah, but
I like that impression though. I like that impression.
But if I had to say someone was fake, it's probably the Saints.
So the Saints.
Weirdly enough, because I think the Saints can still win the division.
So real quick from the chat, A-Rod, before you go, we got Average Kurt saying the Lions are real, so not on the list, but another team that I could have considered putting on that who's real and who's fake list because they're sitting 1-1 with the win against Kansas City. JC says the Bucks are real, and Kurt says the Saints are real. So I think he might be agreeing with you, KK. You said the Saints are probably the realest one of those three.
The Lions are fake. They're the same old Lions every single year.
We just lost a subscriber now.
I lived in Detroit for 10 years. I grew up watching Barry Sanders, the greatest running back I've ever watched in my entire life. And I knew every year they're going to let me down. It's like being a Cowboys fan over the last 25 years. No matter how beautiful it looks, they're going to let you down. So just be ready for them to let you down. And unfortunately with the Lions, the Seahawks game kind of just gave me that again. It's like, yep, that's the Lions I know.
Yep.
You know, they're going to score some points. They're going to make it fun. But they're going to finish with like 8-9 wins this year. And I have I got Green Bay winning that division, and I'm sticking to it. Like, I like what, even though they lost that Falcons game, the Falcons, for whatever reason, find a way to be making these damn comebacks in games. After that 28-3 debacle, it's like they be coming back on everybody. So it's strange. But at the same time, the Lions are fake.
A-Rod, of that list, who is fake 2-0?
I think the fakest one on that team is the Washington Commanders. I know they got a good offensive coordinator in Bieniemy. I'm not taking them away from that, but that division is a little bit tougher for them with the Cowboys and Philly there. Just like KK, I'll piggyback off of the NFC South. I know we dog it and say it's not that strong, but there's 2-0 teams right now there, and it's a scrappy division. Guys are going to be constantly finding ways to outsmart the opponent that they're going against in their division and come up somehow and beat them. And we saw it week 1 last year with the Saints and the Carolina Panthers. Everybody was like, oh, the Saints are going to win this game easily, and the Panthers found a way to do it. And also the Panthers found a way to get Tom Brady's chain and have an upper leg on him too. So there's competition when it comes to being in your division. And so far, a lot of these teams have played each other. The Panthers have played 2 games already, divisional games. So it sucks for Bryce Young to have to do that right out the gates, 2 divisional opponents. But if you had to tell me the one that's the least realist of them is the Commanders, and the one that's the most real, I'm going to put the Saints there. I'm high on the Saints. I think they win the division, and I like everything that they're doing. And Kamara's coming back not next week, but the week after. Sky is the limit unless, he decides to be part of the Slapaho tribe or something like that. So let's just pray he doesn't want to do that.
Vic, who do you think is real and who's fake of that fake list, or the who is fake? They're all 2-0 right now, so technically they're winning. But
I agree. I think A-Rod actually hit the nail on the head here. I agree with everything he said. I don't like the Falcons. I don't like the Commanders. I actually really do like the Saints. I think that their defense has the potential to be one of the best defenses in the league. And what do I always say? Defense wins championships. Defense wins games. They have a good enough offense and a good enough quarterback that can take them over the line, in my opinion.
All right, on the other side of the coin.
Yeah, they have one of the best in the league.
We got some struggling teams, although there could be something said about the LA Rams, but obviously we got a little bit of struggle in LA. Obviously the Chargers. Yeah. The LA Chargers and the LA Rams. The Cincinnati Bengals 0-2, Minnesota Vikings 0-2, and I put the Kansas City Chiefs on this list because their offense hasn't been as strong as we've seen in the past, although that defense looks actually much improved. Chris Jones obviously made that even better, but they're sitting at 1-1 now with the one loss to our average Kurt Detroit Lions. So of these 4-5 teams, so the 2 teams in LA, Cincinnati Bengals, Minnesota Vikings, Kansas City Chiefs, who's real? Vic, I'll start with you this time.
I like the Rams, and I think that, and I want to know how long Joe Burrow is going to be out for, but I like the Rams. Of course, the Chiefs are real. I know they've had struggles. They do this often where they struggle in the beginning of the season and then turn it on towards the playoffs. So I like the Chiefs, of course, the Rams, and the Bengals as long as Joe Burrow comes back quickly enough. I'm actually really out on the Vikings. I don't think they're going to be as good as they were these past few years. I don't have them as a playoff team, and the Chargers are just going to charge her, dude.
I was just going to ask you, do you think Brandon Staley is on a short leash right now?
I would say so, yeah. And you know what? I don't think it has anything to do with him. I think that organization is that's just what they built. It doesn't matter if they have Philip Rivers. It doesn't matter who they have. They can have whoever they want. That's just what they do. That's the Chargers.
But they had Drew Brees.
Yeah, for real. Yeah. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter who they have the quarterback.
Free Justin Herbert. Free Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
A-Rod, who's real?
I think the realest of the bunch is the Kansas City Chiefs. They know how to get it done. They're consistently in the playoffs. They're consistently in the Super Bowl. I think the fakest of the three, and Vic might not like this because this was his hot take, as of circa 2020 or 21, the Cincinnati Bengals. It's not smelling right to me over there. I know Joe Burrow got paid and he's injured, and I'm keeping with that, but Jamar Chase isn't making big plays. Jamar Chase is very stagnant. I don't think he's it. So I'm not saying that I don't think he's it as a player. I just think that he's not living up to his potential. And then if we want to look at it a fantasy purpose, I know everybody that took him in the first round is probably screaming at the top of their lungs right now that he's not performing on the level that they need him to be at. So that's my phony out of the four. I think the Chargers, it's the head coach. That's the problem. Everything else is fine there. And who was the other one? The Rams. I've been telling KK for the longest, the Rams are the real deal. They're going to get their shit together, and they're going to figure it out when Stafford's healthy. They're living by the motto, fuck them picks, and it's showing. Fuck them picks. Those picks that they got later on are showing out and doing what they need to do. So,
yo, shout out to Michael Pless in the chat. What's up?
Pless!
He's in the chat showing love in the live.
Love you, boy.
So I really want to get to KK, but he hasn't paid his Wi-Fi bill, so he got cut off. No, I'm just kidding. So we'll wait till he comes back, but we'll move on to the next topic. We'll let him get his takes when he gets back online with his Wi-Fi. So I got some key Week 3 matchups that I wrote down. I think these are probably the best games, and obviously.
And before you continue, I hate to cut you off because I know you're our new MC, and KK's not here, and I can talk my shit, and I love it because he's not going to cut me off. He's not going to take his credit. If you listen to our pick'ems last week, we did 5. I'm up on him 4-1. So respectively, I love you, K. You're my boy, but also respectively, fuck you. I'm up 4-1.
Suck my nuts. But all right, real quick though, let's first preview tomorrow night's game because obviously that's the most relevant and closest to when we are. Vic, do you wanna take it away with your little game? You have any ideas on who would you swing any sort of beans towards in that Thursday night Niners Giants game?
Flick the bean, bro.
Yeah. So you have the Niners at minus 10.5 right now. The over/under is at 44. But I'm going to try and keep all these to you as quick hitters, Sammy.
Nice.
But this one might be the toughest one.
You can pass on it. You can pass on it.
No. I'm going to take it. I'm going to take. Believe it or not, I'm going to take. So, it's East Coast team going west on a night game. So that give me Niners minus 10.5.
All right. A-Rod, who you got tomorrow night? Clear, right? It's the Niners clear.
Niners and who? Giants? Yeah, give me the fucking Niners, bro. Come on. Give me a break.
10.5 is a lot. 10.5 is a lot. I don't think that. I think you're scoffing at that a little bit too much.
I'm convinced there's a script if they're giving it 9.5, considering they lost.
It's 10.5. It's 10.5.
It's 10.5. And I will say, 87% of the cash on the spread has gone San Francisco's way. So that's actually makes me feel a little bit better.
Wow.
See, this is why we brought you boys in for the number side of shit, and I love that. Me, I'm just gonna tell you flat out the Niners are gonna win that shit. I don't give a fuck for the number.
Easy money line if you're looking there too. That's probably a very easy money line. All right, so obviously this one hits close to home for the three of us technically. Patriots at Jets. They're only giving the Patriots 2.5. The over under is 37. I can't really hear you, Vic.
Can you hear me? Hear me now?
Your volume's really low.
Turn me up the headphones. So, I would love to see this game, but if you're giving me stuff, I would take the Pats -2.5 at New York.
All right, he said Pats 2.5.
Damn. All right, KK. So you missed out. We want to bring you back in because I wanted to ask you.
A-Rod, you didn't think I heard you? I heard you, cuz.
Enjoy that 4-1, huh? Enjoy that 4-1.
You're not up on me 4-1. What are you smoking?
KK, before we get to that,
We both picked the Chiefs. We both picked the Dolphins. I picked the Steelers. You picked the Browns. And then I lost out on the and I picked the Seahawks. You picked the Lions. What are you smoking? You lying? Why are you lying to these people?
Hold up. No.
Why are you lying to these people?
Why you always lying?
Why are you always lying to these people?
Cincinnati, Baltimore. I had Baltimore. Okay.
What up?
All right. Never mind. I stand.
What up?
My bad.
He thought he could just get away with that without me not knowing?
To everybody out there, it's my fault. Yes, it was my birthday. Been litty titty, so let me be. My bad.
But yeah, don't try me, bro. I'll whoop your ass this week.
Sorry, well,
yeah. KK. Before we get into those matchups, I wanted to ask you the Who's Real segment. You didn't get to sound off on it. The Chargers, Rams, Bengals, Vikings, Chiefs.
I just want to say real quick, I hate this computer. Yes, I paid my Spectrum bill, so don't worry. My Wi-Fi is working just fine. Y'all thought y'all was going to get up.
He's also very close.
He heard it all.
He's close to McDonald's. He's close to McDonald's, and he connects to the Wi-Fi. It's okay.
I just think y'all got one on me, but it's all gravy. First of all, with the Chargers, like you said, the Chargers are going Charger. I cannot stand Brandon Staley coaching. I cannot stand the Chargers organization right now. I don't know what the hell they got going on, but unfortunately, that's just good. That's the Chargers, right? I mean, they're basically the road team at their own home stadium. What kind of bullshit is that? The Rams, Puka Nuka Muka Muka, baby, let's go. And then Cooper Kupp is going to be back next week, so we'll see how that looks. I'm very impressed with Matthew Stafford. Actually, I thought he didn't want to play no more. All that shit that his wife was talking about, it looks like he's doing just fine with his young talent. And then they finally had the courage and the balls to get rid of Cam Akers today. So kudos to them for having that kind of courage. But whatever, we're good without you. So the Rams, I wouldn't say they're real, but they're not. They're definitely not fake. They're definitely not going to be a bottom feeder this year. Cincy,
like a lot of us thought too. So that's counter to what a lot of us probably thought.
Yeah, exactly.
Not me.
Well, Cincy, it's all about the quarterback. I mean, it's just. I don't care if they're 0-2. And we were talking about a little bit earlier about the Eagles' slow start, even though they're 2-0, it's a slow start. But y'all Patriot fans, y'all know, y'all have seen this same shit over and over. Every time in like September, it's like, y'all just do what y'all do. And then come November, December, y'all don't lose. So no one's really concerned about September football. I'm sorry. It's hard for me to overreact to September football. So Cincinnati, I just got to see what the hell's up with Burrow. That's a scary situation. And then they're all on contracts and years, and like T. Higgins wants to get paid. So that might end up being a mess, actually. Minnesota, I've never believed in them. And Kansas City, it's very disrespectful that they're even on this list. They're fine. The offense don't look as great. Who cares? They're fine. Andy Reid, he'll figure it out. So
all right. Moving on to the Week 3 matchups. Obviously, we talked about Niners, Giants really quick. KK, anything you want to touch on the Niners, Giants?
Come on, man. Come on, man. Next question.
My love.
So now you're all cut up. I just wanted to catch
over under Saquon Barkley yards. Is there like a because I'm on sleeper. I do all these prop bets.
He's not playing tomorrow. He's not playing tomorrow. So.
I'm at Christian McCaffrey.
Take the under. Take the over. What's the over under at?
I don't know about. Let me tell you, because I don't like to gamble, but I do these prop bets every week. Because I think one of these parlays is finally going to hit. I almost won $400 last week. I lost it by one player. Who was the player? Y'all player. Ramondre Stevenson. His over-under was 51 yards. He had 50 yards.
So McCaffrey's rushing yards are over-under is 75.8 rush yards.
Yeah, 78.5.
I like the under. And then his combined rushing receiving yards is 112.5. I like the under as well. It's Thursday night football. Weird shit happens. Players tend to go wild. I always take the unders when I'm betting player props and over-unders for Thursday night football.
Okay. Interesting.
That has been your tip corner from Vic. Pause.
I want to agree with you, but the New York Giants are ass. Like, I don't care if they came back and beat the Cardinals. Like, everybody, oh yeah, we came back. It's the Cardinals.
Cardinals gave that game away.
The Cardinals are trying to tank. They're actually trying to get Caleb Williams. What do you expect? But anyway, move on.
So, you're all caught up pretty much. I just wanted to catch you up on everything. But the next one, I put it on there just because obviously it hits home for the three of us. But the Patriots at Jets, I thought it was funny that they only gave the Patriots 2.5 and the over/under is 37 points.
That's ridiculous. The over/under.
I'm taking the under for sure.
You're taking the under?
I'm taking the under. The score is gonna be like 12. Weird score, like 12-9 or some bullshit like that.
Well, good thing me and A-Rod are gonna be at the Wu-Tang concert. So.
Hey.
Screw that.
Real with that game. I mean, I don't even know who's gonna win that game. I want to say the Jets should win because they're at home and
Sunday.
Show me a gun.
But the Pats are favored on the road, which is very telling. So
okay, so you guys have the list up too. So I just wanted to put those first two just because obviously relevancy. But these next 5, I think those are pretty good for us to do for our first week of pick'ems against all 4 of us. What do you think? Unless there's another one you want to add and swap out, but I thought those were significant games.
Do what you got to do, bro. I like these.
Yeah.
You got a Super Bowl rematch in here.
There's 5 of them.
Yeah.
You got
Okay.
Rattle off. Let's go.
All right.
Let's go.
So the first one we got. This is a test game for kind of 2 teams, right? So to see who's real and who's fake. They're actually playing each other. So you got the Saints at the Packers. Test game for both teams. Packers 1-1. Saints 2-0. The Packers are favored by 2, and the over/under is 42.5. Now, how do you guys want to do this? You want to do it by spread, or you just do money line? You just whoever wins, right? Is that how you guys do it?
I'm a money line it. So I'm gonna money line every single one.
Okay.
But for the viewers out there who like to hear some real shit, I'll trust Vic on what he says, and I might trust Sammy a little bit, but I want y'all to do what y'all do with there.
Not doing
but
good.
Me, I'm just riding the money line. So
okay.
Go ahead.
Who you got, A-Rod? Saints at Packers.
Give me the Saints.
Bick.
So you got 93% of the cash, 67% of the tickets going towards Green Bay here. I like the sharp. I'm going to bet with the sharps here. I'm going to go Green Bay -2. This would be a fantastic game to tease, though. If you want to tease the Saints, get them at -6 or even -8. I'm sorry, +8 for the Saints or +6. Great teaser game here. But I would go give me the Packers -2 on the road. At home.
Everything that Vic said. And I was not only because he said it, but like that's exactly what I was thinking. So, I'll take Jordan Love in them.
Yeah, I'm taking the Packers as well there. All right, this is a prove it game. So we got a 2-0 team against a 1-1 team, especially a 1-1 team that scores a lot of points. So it's going to be a big test for the Falcons. So we got the Falcons at the Detroit Lions. The Lions are -3. The over-under is 46.5. We'll start with you this time, KK.
That was tough, man. Real talk. That was real spill. That was tough. I'm definitely taking the over on that game. And then, man, I'm gonna just rock with the Lions because Jared Goff at home in that dome, he just be doing some things that are just crazy. So I'm gonna go with the Lions at home.
Vic.
I have to agree with everything KK said here. -3. This is the first game where the tickets are out of whack. So we have 70% of the cash on Atlanta, but 50% of the tickets on both teams. So that's just something to watch there. But I do like the Lions -3 at home.
A-Rod.
What's the money line?
Plus 133 Atlanta, 171 for Detroit. Minus 171 for Detroit.
And the Lions are favored by 3.
Yes.
Hold on one second, A-Rod. Say what you said again.
Give me Detroit.
Detroit?
I never bet against them. I never bet against Dan Campbell. Give me the over too.
Oh,
That's a fun team to watch,
spicy.
right?
They
All
are.
right.
They really are a fun team to watch.
So this is a do or die situation for 2 teams. So that's why I thought this was
That
interesting.
sucks.
Not to
sucks.
mention, this is honestly on paper, it looks like a boring game. But if you know, this is probably going to be one of the highest scoring games because both teams are complete
It's a name
trash.
game. It's a name game.
The LA Chargers at the Minnesota Vikings. And it's crazy. They're only giving the Chargers 1 point. The over, and that's crazy though. They're giving the Chargers 1 point away. The over under is 54. It's huge. Pause.
That's crazy.
So, Vic, we'll start with you this time.
Oh, shit. I was hoping you wouldn't. All right. So, this is a tough one because you got West Coast team going Central. So they're actually playing like at 11 a.m. their time, right? Something like that. You have the Chargers who are 0-2 against the spread versus the Vikings who are 0-1 against the spread. So both teams terrible. So basically, it's a pick 'em. Who do you think's going to win this game? I'm going to go Chargers here.
A-Rod.
I want Kirk Cousins in New York. Give me the Chargers, baby.
KK.
Oh my god. Yeah, I gotta rock with the Chargers. Like, if one team's gonna go 0-3, I can't let all the way y'all hype up Justin Herbert. I can't let Justin Herbert go 0-3. If he goes 0-3, I mean, I don't know, man. I'm gonna just rock with the Chargers on this one.
I'm going Vikings, and then the other one I'm gonna go Falcons.
I will say, can I say something real quick, Sammy?
Yeah.
I will say that is the least confident game I'm in. And I, in all honesty, I'm probably going to stay away from it. And if I'm betting beans on it, but,
Yeah, I wouldn't touch that one.
but since you made me pick, I do go Chargers.
Yeah. All right, KK, and this is actually still an intriguing matchup, so that's why I had to put it on there. Monday Night Football, one of 2 Monday Night Football games that are pretty intriguing. The Philadelphia Eagles at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This time we'll start with A-Rod.
Give me Philly. It's a no-brainer.
KK.
I mean, obviously the Eagles, but I'm trying to look at that spread 4.5.
4.5 for the Eagles, yep. Over under 46 too.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, I like that.
I like us winning this game 31-20. Personally.
Wow. He going over too.
31-20.
Vic.
Another weird one here. You got 69% of the cash on Tampa Bay, 52% of the tickets on Philadelphia. I think the Sharps know something here. I'm going to go Tampa Bay plus 4.5.
4.5.
Wait, are you picking them? All right, so that you're picking them with the spread, but as far as for us, who do you want to win?
Who do I want to win? I want the Eagles.
Or who do you
win.
think's going to win? Who do you think's going to win?
Who do I want? It's different.
Who do you think is going to win the game, Vic?
I'm going to go Bucks.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So
All
he's
right.
going. Okay. Oh, so he thinks.
You'll have
Oh,
to see me next week.
okay. Yeah, I'm going
Place your
Bucks,
bet, bro.
but I
Yeah,
actually
see what
do.
we see.
I think I agree with Vic that if you're putting some beans on it, I think that's an intriguing 4.5.
I think
So I think you go Bucks.
value is with the Bucks. You can get the plus 180 on the money line. If you really think the Bucks are going to win, I think that's a bet to take.
That's a good play.
We about to beat the shit out of Baker Mayfield. Dog Jalen Carter, come on, man. Let's go. I cannot wait.
Oh, Michael Pless is in here. He's got Packers, Lions, Chargers, Bucks so far. So
of course he does. I like you, Pless. You're consistent.
All
Love
right.
you, Pless.
The final game in our matchup. Oh, I'm taking the Eagles. So yeah.
Good job.
Yeah, but I'm also taking that Bucks spread though. But
which I don't blame you.
yeah, I think it's a pretty good 4.5. Yeah.
It is.
So the last game on Monday night, Rams at Bengals. The Rams are favored by 2.5. Over under is 43.5. Vic, start it off.
Okay, so I'm just checking right now. You got the Bengals who are 0-2 against the spread, with possibly without their main guy and Joe Burrow. While it's still Cincinnati minus 2.5, I am hammering the Rams right now. If I'm
Pause.
Pause. Is that a pause? Hammering? Come on. I'm hammering the Rams right now. They're minus 2. They're plus 2.5. Now's the time to take it before we find out that Joe Burrow's out this week. Take the Rams.
KK.
Mr. Ian Rappaport reported Joe Burrow's feeling a lot better than he did the last 2 days. No injury report today because the Bengals play on Monday. The extra day will surely help. I'm taking the Bengals.
A-Rod.
Yeah, I'm a huge Aaron Donald fan. You gotta give me the Rams.
Yeah, I'm taking the Rams too. I like Puka. Puka
Puka
Cup.
Nuka Nuka.
Puka Cup. Puka
So
Cup.
I'm a lone wolf with the Bengals.
Oh,
So
there's a lot of lone wolves in this. Everyone's got a lone wolf on each week. I'm New Orleans. Sammy's Atlanta. Sammy's Minnesota. Vic is Tampa, and you are Cincinnati. So everybody's got a lone wolf at least.
You have
once.
to, right? You gotta try to come out on top. Pause. But yeah, that's all we got for the NFL.
Y'all be doing the most, man.
For real, KK. I gotta chill this shit.
All right, so real quick before we sign off, a little bit of a world soccer corner. So obviously this past weekend, big things were happening in Italy. If you didn't know, the Milan derby or the Inter Milan slaughter of AC Milan. Sorry, Vic. Inter is in insane form right now since last season. They are still riding that high. Not that I'm taking anything away from AC Milan. I think AC Milan's going to come around. They have a lot of good players on that team. Watch out for the Serie A. Vic, anything you want to say on that game?
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. AC Milan didn't have several of their defenders. Their defense is still weak. I think there's chances for AC Milan to improve in the January transfer window. But yeah, Inter's playing incredibly. Not much I can say there.
KK or A-Rod. You guys watch that game? No? Maybe?
No, yeah. I think I'm a huge Thurman fan for Inter. I think he's solid. He's doing his thing.
That goal was disgusting.
It was so disgusting. Thurman is the shit. And listen, Vic, all the shit that you give Lau for AC Milan.
Sounds like A-Rod.
He's got to refresh. His mic's messed up.
But yeah, A-Rod's right. I do give Leao shit for a reason. I mean, he's supposed to be the best player on that team. Constantly plays him, and he plays like dog shit. I mean, he's lazy sometimes. Really, I'll be honest with you. He doesn't make the runs if he's not getting any run. If he's not getting the ball, he doesn't care, and he's selfish with the ball when he does get it. So that's my issue with Leao.
Oh, man.
As my boy says,
Go with the spoilers.
it's not looking good, bruv.
Listen, I'm 1,000% agree. It's these last 2-3 weeks. it's like every time I pick up my phone and I look at my screen and I go on I have an app that I specifically dedicate for Manchester United, and every time I go on, it's always something. It's always somebody's mad at somebody. We getting killed by VAR. We're telling this dude don't practice in the stadium. It's like last year it was starting to head in a direction that I was very happy about, and now it's starting to it's going back to shit right now, and I don't know what we need to do. Don't buy the damn jersey anymore. Don't buy any jersey anymore.
No. Buy the jersey still, fucker.
Nothing from Manchester United. Don't buy nothing.
I got to do it now that I'm on your show.
We're 13th in the Premier League. It's just, I don't know. Everything is just, it's disgusting. And in Bayern Munich, I mean, what did you expect? I mean, We'll
see. We'll see what happens when you guys get all healthy. How about that?
It's like, after 80 minutes of any game, any match that we play now, after 80 minutes, just expect the other team to score. Just expect them to score 1 or 2 goals. It's just like I don't know what the hell this team is doing. I don't know what's in the water. I don't know who needs to get fired or who needs to get punched in the face. I don't know, but
probably the Glazers.
It's been very depressing as of late. Just like literally over the last month, it's gone down a pile of shit. So that's where I'm at as a Man U fan. It's not fun.
Being a Manchester United fan is being like a closet Yankee fan or like a bandwagon Yankee fan in my books. I know you're
Yankee fan.
I'm not a fair weather Yankee fan. I'm not trying to knock you, KK, because that's your club, but when you run down, there's a lot of major injuries. You got Luke Shaw, Mason Mount's coming back this weekend supposedly, or this week. Yay, whoop-de-doo. Varney's coming back supposedly too. Sancho's a big one for them not being there. So, and holding your own 4-3 to Bayern Munich. I know you lost, but still.
I don't do that moral victory shit. I told you that.
I know, but like. Me and Sammy, like we root for PSG, and we had Messi, Mbappe, and Neymar, and they made us look like dog shit out there. Okay, they beat us 4-1 or some bullshit like that last year. Like you can hang your hat proud that you were able to hold that. The only bright side on Manchester United I see is Casemiro and Rashford, but I need more out of Rashford. Rashford's got to go on the same tear he went last year. Otherwise, I got to digress and go back to the Sammy pit and say, hey, he's not that good. But I think he's that good. I just think when you don't have the pieces around you to be successful, you can't be as successful as you really are. Like we talk about NFL and comparisons in football. Like when you have guys out there that are all healthy and a guy that guys on the pitch that can make you look better and get you the ball, it'll make you successful. And not having a lot of these guys out there is really affecting Manchester United, in my opinion. But also,
what do we talk about all the time about smell? Shit don't smell right. You know what I mean? That's how I feel about Manchester.
United.
That's a great point, KK.
But Manchester United doesn't smell right every year. They smell like fucking a fish head and dog shit.
I mean, obviously, over the last decade, it's been real tough, honestly. Just to keep it a buck, right? But lately, it's just, it smells. Like, it really, like, I open the door, I'm like, oh, shit, what is that? You know what I mean? That's how I'm feeling. So, I'm not, even though injuries is cool, people coming back, all that is one thing. But, like, I watch body language, and I watch people's facial expressions, and then you just read what's going on in the clubhouse. It's just, I don't know, it just doesn't smell right for me. And yeah, it's very discouraging, honestly, for me. So, yeah.
So, A-Rod had to give you your little bit of flowers with your boys, Real Madrid, continuing their torrid, crazy form in La Liga, and obviously with that 91st minute victory today from Mr. Jude Bellingham. I know I had here 5 goals in 5 matches. Now he's at 6 goals in 6 matches. What say you about your Real Madrid?
No Courtois, no Mulatto, no problem. That's all I can say, man. And we get Vinny back this week, so I'm happy for it, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. When we got Jude Bellingham, I almost this sounds so shitty of me to say. I was comparing it to signing James Rodriguez. I was like, it's gonna be a flash in the pan. I was like, I think it's a flash in the pan. I don't think he's going to be that good, but he's proven me wrong, and I'm eating my crow on that. I'm loving it. I'm getting the Bellingham jersey. It's on the way. It's on the way.
You gotta
So
give me one. He's him.
He is him. He's good. He's good. He needs to learn Spanish. Other than that, like
He's trying.
he's doing good. And once we get Vinny Jr. back, I think we're forgetting how good Vinny Jr. really is. And when Vinny comes back, it's hard to say we don't have a solid, like, the best front three in football, man. Like it's really, really fucking good when he returns. So I'm excited. I'm truly excited.
And I'm gonna just say, I'm a closet fan for teams. I'm a closet Barcelona fan, and don't sleep.
It's not looking good, bruv.
Don't worry. Don't sleep.
No, bro.
Don't sleep. Don't worry. Don't sleep.
So just to let people know, keep them in the know, obviously this weekend, huge game. Huge game. This game hasn't been huge for a few years. I'm so glad that it's finally back to being a very big game. Arsenal, Tottenham, both vying for top spots. That is this Saturday at 9 a.m. If y'all don't tune in, y'all are crazy. That game's going to be legit. It's going to be wild. Vic, are you going to be tuning in to Arsenal Tottenham on Saturday?
Come on, you Spurs! Of course. Kidding me? Absolutely.
I'm so glad it finally means something, though. You know what I mean? Like, it's actually like a meaningful derby.
The derby.
The best player and actually compete for a title. That's crazy.
I know. It's insane.
Well, it's still a long season to go. I can't wait. I hate Arteta. I hate Arsenal. I hate everything they have to stand for. The only person on Arsenal I like is Bukayo Saka.
What do you think about Gabriel Jesus?
Yeah, fuck him.
Oh, come on, man.
Yeah, no, just he plays for Arsenal, man. I'm sure I'd love him if he played for another team. Arsenal's a shit squad with a shit manager and just a shit organization. Fuck him. That's all I'd say about Arsenal. And hey, I don't want anybody talking about today. I'm watching the PSV game right now. Nobody say shit about the Champions League game right now. But I'm just saying, I fucking hate Arteta and I hate Arsenal.
All right. Vic, anything you want? Go ahead.
I'm only a closet Arsenal fan because of Gabi Jesus. I've always been a Gabi Jesus fan. I like how they're bringing him off the bench and coming into the game. I think that's good for them. Saka, kid's the truth, man. But until Gabi's 100% fully healthy, and they can get him out there, like, they're going to be solid. And you would think not having Harry Kane out there would be a big blow to.
Don't talk about Kane. Don't talk about Kane right now.
I think Harry Kane is like a bad omen wherever he goes. As much as I hate saying it, like, the dude is such a nice guy. There's no reason not to hate him for everything that he's had to do. But everywhere he goes, it's like once he leaves, they just do so much better. So, Son, Madison, Charleston, Charleston's doing his thing. Finally, it's only 5 games, but Charleston's doing his thing.
This is a guy that was ass last year, absolutely dog shit, and finally gets to play as a sole striker where his real position is, right? And not having to play off of Harry Kane. Charleston's had, I think, is going to have a very good season this year, as he already started. So, and then of course, Son he's the man.
He is the man.
Yeah, it's crazy to see him.
No,
you can't. The best thing I saw over the weekend was someone try to take a picture with his iPhone, and he couldn't do it because he's sponsored by Samsung. So I gave him props for that.
I appreciate that. That's dedication.
I gave him props for that. But I'm big on Arsenal. I've always had a soft spot for Arsenal. I like what they're doing over there. I hope it works. The K Havertz signing is fucking dumb to me. I don't like that signing. I think he's super overrated. But the striker, that's not right, bruv. So I think the 3 strikers they have are good enough. I like Ramsdale in the goal. But yeah, I like them a little bit over Tottenham in my opinion. So, but I'm watching that game for sure.
It's gonna be sick.
I'm gonna just say I'm rocking with Tottenham, but fuck Arsenal. So that's it.
He said, what do you got for your words of wisdom for the week?
Listen, and I appreciate you for thinking that I'm wise, man. I really do. Real talk. This is always my word of wisdom whenever I'm having a certain type of week. Monday I was having a day, right? And I let my mental health get the best of me on Monday. But I really sat back and I practiced my breath works. Guys, my words of wisdom, breath works. What? What? Anyway, y'all, breathworks. That's all I'm gonna say. If you don't know what it is, Google it. Go on YouTube. Download some breathworks app. Go to a class. Do something. Breathworks.
The next thing he's going to tell you is LeBron James sponsors the Calm app, so download the Calm app because he's a big LeBron James.
The Calm app is not even a breathworks app. What are you talking about, A-Rod? What? A-Rod, what did they put in your glass today? What is in your glass today? What is that? Is that Cab?
It's a no. I don't drink Cabernet. This is a Malbec, bro.
A Malbec? You need to get that Malbec tested in the lab, bro. I'm gonna need you to get that Malbec tested because you talking crazy right now, okay? But yeah, that's my word of wisdom today. Breathe, y'all. Just keep breathing.
Vic, anything you want to sound off before we sign off?
Yeah, I was actually going to talk about the opposite, KK, and breathe less, guys. Just breathe less.
Just die.
Hold your breath if possible. No, I'm just messing. No, I have nothing to say. That was wonderful, KK. Thank you. Just have a great week, everybody.
Do I get the sound off?
Sound it off, baby.
All right. So, listeners, I know today was a rough episode. We're trying to get things into the way of things. We're trying to get each other's sounds, each other's pitch. It's going to come fluid. I
need a new computer.
Yeah, I promise you. We promise you that everything is going to come fluid, and we're going to come together, and everything's going to be good.
Pause.
Look out for our reels. Yeah, exactly. Pause. Oh, shit, I walked into that. Wow.
You say we're going to come together.
Yeah.
Lord.
Look out for our reels. Look out for the videos. We're going to be posting a lot more content. Please subscribe all your friends, or tell your friends about us. We're looking to do big things this year as the fearsome foursome pause on everything that we're going to be doing. In regards to everything, or in conclusion, you can find us on X, no longer Twitter, and fuck Elon Musk for wanting to try and charge us for shit. That guy sucks.
He lost his damn mind, bro.
Yeah, you can find us on X at fair_weather_pod. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram at the Fairweather Podcast, and wherever you subscribe or listen to podcasts. You can catch the audio there as well. Sammy is our MC from now on. He is the master of composers. He's going to be starting it off with us. KK will give you the intro, but Sammy's going to be the guy who's keeping us in check. Sammy, you get the last words today, brother.
Appreciate that. Appreciate everybody signing in. Michael Pless, Arctic JC, Average Kurt, Anthony, everybody coming into the chat, giving us some love. And remember, like, subscribe, give us comments, give us some recommendation, ask us some questions. Let's be interactive, baby. Let's be interactive. And I apologize again for some of the sound issues. We started to work it out in the middle of the podcast. I think everything went pretty good for the most part. But yeah, everything A-Rod said is accurate. Keep a lookout for the reels, the shorts, the Instagrams, the Facebooks. We're going to be giving you so much content. You're going to tell us to stop, but actually you're going to be like, nah, keep going, pause. So yeah, that's all I got. KK?
I'm going to have to get y'all. I'm going to have to get y'all checked into a hospital somewhere. Y'all need to stop this.
Peace.
Peace.